Hello, it's Richard Lund, and I'm just sitting here with some breaking news. And I think it's the simplest way is just to share the video with you. Please go to Dr. John Campbell's channel and listen for yourself. I didn't receive permission to copy this, so I'm just going to play it and hope for the best. And just so the information gets out, it's just really remarkably good news. And let's see here, we'll pull it up.
Airlines are grounded, so EasyJet's grounded their whole fleet. Now, this was very encouraging. A Formula One team, Mercedes, have teamed up with NHS engineers, health engineers, and they've developed a new CPAP machine. Now, CPAP stands for Continuous Positive Airway Pressure. Continuous Positive Airway Pressure. So I actually was on intensive care when these were first invented in 19... let's say 19, quite a while back, when we first used these CPAP masks. And what they are is they're a tight-fitting mask that goes over the face. And when you breathe in, they push air in under pressure, positive pressure. So if you're having difficulty expanding your lungs just by moving your ribs up and out and your diaphragm down, as we normally do, because normally what happens in breathing is the ribs go up and out, the diaphragm goes down, that increases the volume of the chest, that reduces the pressure in the chest, so the air is sucked in to the lungs. So normally we breathe in by sucking air in. We are negative pressure ventilators. But this is continuous positive airway pressure. The air is blown in. And the big thing about this is we don't need a tube in the throat. We don't need endotracheal intubation. We don't need a tracheostomy tube with a cuff to blow air into the trachea. We can just blow it into the mouth. And once the patients start to use these, they can be very, very effective. I remember the first patient I ever treated with this. I think it was in 1988, actually, between you and me. In 1988, we had a patient with multiple rib fractures and we gave him this CPAP mask. Now, the month before that, we would have had to intubate him and ventilate him, which is a high-risk procedure. But with this CPAP mask, the air blew in enough so that he could cope with we gave him painkillers so he could cope with the pain. And he didn't need ventilated. And he did very well and healed very quickly. So that's remarkably encouraging. And this CPAP thing's only about this big. It's absolutely fantastic. Just goes on to the oxygen supply. So that's being rolled out now. It's final approval coming now. And the Mercedes, I think it was, the Mercedes Formula One team, brilliant engineers, of course, have said they can produce 1,000 a day. So really good news. And this can keep lots and lots of people off ventilators. Lots and lots of people off ventilators. So if you're not on a ventilator, you don't need sedated, you don't need the muscle relaxing drugs. It's altogether a much less invasive procedure. So very encouraged by that. And let's hope that the design is made publicly available and engineers all around the world can start bashing these things out by the 1,000 that we're going to need. Because if this can save ventilation, if we can reduce ventilation by half, that's going to save a lot of lives. And ventilation is not the panacea people think. Ventilation at the best of times is associated with significant complications. Purely for one reason, you've got an endotracheal tube down into your trachea, whereas the CPAP you haven't. You've got your own airway intact, so the CPAP is so much preferable, and that's coming online now. So that's brilliant. Now,
well, that was a pretty amazing deal. CPAP to the rescue, and it may not be for everyone. There may be people that have to be intubated and have the ventilator, but boy, you take away the drugs, you don't have to freeze the muscles of the person, you don't have to make them sedated. They have a better chance to communicate, and I just think it's a game changer and it's brilliant. And I hope that we across the pond here in America will have a chance to also use these. So that's my breaking news for this moment, and there might be some more coming up. There was a wonderful interview with a fellow that Vincent Racaniello put together, but I think I will try to transcribe that if possible. So peace and see you later, alligator, I was going to say, which I also wish you a healthy 100 years.